On behalf of our host, Colonel Brian S. Burlingame, Commander of West Point Health Service Area, welcome to today's change of responsibility and retirement ceremonies. This morning, Command Sgt. Major Vincent E. Bond will relinquish responsibility of the United States Army West Point Health Service Area to Command Sgt. Major Kyle S. Brunell. At this time, we would like to extend a sincere welcome to our distinguished guest. Brigadier General Eric H. Toring, Deputy Commanding General, Regional Health Command Atlantic Provisional. Brigadier General Michael Ogwin. Command Sergeant Major Matthew Brady, Regional Health Command Atlantic Provisional Command Sergeant Major. Command Sergeant Major Don Ripplemeyer, United States Corps of Cadets, Command Sergeant Major. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the invocation given by Chaplain Valeria Vendress.
If you wish, please pray with me. Lord God of all creation, we approach your throne of grace this morning with hearts of gratitude for the remarkable leadership of Command Sergeant Major Vincent Bond. As the senior non-commissioned officer of the West Point Health Service Area, he was able to shape the culture and climate with his motivating and deeply engaged style of leadership. Thank you, Lord, for giving Command Sergeant Major Bond the energy, discipline, and enthusiasm to carry out and enforce the policies and standards of this medical institution. May you grant him and his wife, Deanna, wisdom and shine your light clearly on the path set before them as they begin the next chapter in their lives. Thank you, Lord, for the 31-plus years of dedicated service Command Sergeant Major Bond gave to this nation and to its soldiers. And we pray now for Command Sergeant Major Kyle Brunell as he takes the torch to become a voice of the soldiers and the eyes and ears for his commander. Guide Command Sergeant Major Brunell as he seeks to serve as the premier standard bearer. May he lead from the front with competence, excellence, and continue, as he has done for the past 25 years, to bring credit upon the Corps and our country, regardless of the situation in which he finds himself. Bless now his wife Stephanie and their daughter Caitlin as they too will begin this new journey in America at these hallowed grounds of West Point. Bless now all the soldiers, civilians, and staff of the West Point Health Service Area as together they work to provide high-quality, patient-centered care so as to enhance all the beneficiaries of this world-class institution. Amen.
Please be seated. At this time, Sergeant Timothy Thompson, the United States Army Medical Activity West Point Non-Commissioned Officer of the Year, is presenting Miss Deanna Bond with a bouquet of red roses for her devotion, dedication, and tireless efforts to the soldiers, civilians, and families of the West Point Health Service Area and Keller Army Community Hospital. He will also be presenting a personal gift to his son, Jared, for his support. Sergeant Ariel Luis Lorente, the United States Army Medical Activity West Point Soldier of the Year, will now present Miss Stephanie Brunell with a bouquet of yellow roses on behalf of the soldiers and civilian staff, welcoming her to the Keller family. He is also presenting Command Sergeant Major and Mrs. Brunell's daughter, Caitlin, a single yellow rose. And to Command Sergeant Major Brunell's mother, Lynn Helvey, a spring bouquet. Also with us today, we have Command Sergeant Major Brunell's father, Clennon Brunell. Today's official party consists of Colonel Brian S. Burlingame, Commander of West Point Health Service Area, Command Sergeant Major Vincent E. Bond, Command Sergeant Major of West Point Health Service Area, and Command Sergeant Major Kyle S. Brunell, incoming Command Sergeant Major. On the field before you this morning are the medical company soldiers of Keller Army Community Hospital, led by First Sergeant Robert M. Case. The Saber Sergeant for today's event is Staff Sergeant Nicholas Powell. Providing musical support for today's ceremony is the West Point Band Brass Quintet under the direction of Sergeant First Class Ewell. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the entrance of the official party and remain standing for the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets were clear, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. The change of responsibility is a simple traditional event that is rich with symbolism and heritage. The key to the ceremony is the passing of the non-commissioned officer's sword. The passing of the sword signifies the relinquishment of responsibility and authority from the outgoing to the incoming Command Sergeant Major. Since ancient times, armies throughout the world have conducted ceremonies to commemorate victories over their enemies, honor fallen comrades, and celebrate special occasions as we are doing today. These ceremonies add color and pageantry to military life while preserving tradition and esprit de corps. As the backbone of the Army, non-commissioned officers and their historic presence in the United States Army began in 1775 with the birth of the Continental Army. In 1840, an effort was made to give the non-commissioned officers corps greater prestige by adopting a distinctive sword, the non-commissioned officer's sword. Not intended for display, this sword, a fully functional weapon for hard and dedicated use, is no longer part of the Army's inventory, but continues to serve as a constant display of leadership, integrity, and responsibility. American non-commissioned officers wore the sword for more than 70 years during three major wars: the Mexican-American War, the Civil War, and the Spanish-American War. The passing of the sword signifies the relinquishing of responsibility and authority from the outgoing to the incoming Command Sergeant Major. Command Sergeants Major may come and go, but the sword remains razor sharp. Sergeant First Class Case, First Sergeant for the medical company, is entrusted with the symbol of the Non-Commissioned Officer Corps and the authority of the NCOs in the West Point Health Service area. He presents the sword to Command Sergeant Major Bond as a final demonstration of trust, respect, and appreciation for the Sergeant Major's care of the soldiers in the hospital. Command Sergeant Major Bond will then hand the sword to Colonel Burlingame, signifying the relinquishment of his duties. Colonel Burlingame, in turn, passes the sword to Command Sergeant Major Brunell, entrusting him with the care, welfare, and training of his soldiers. By accepting the sword, Command Sergeant Major Brunell demonstrates his commitment to the unit's soldiers and their families. Command Sergeant Major Brunell will then pass the sword back to First Sergeant Case, symbolizing the continuity of the NCO support channel. Relief of responsibility for Command Sergeant Major Vincent E. Bond. Having served faithfully with distinction, you are hereby relieved of your responsibility as the West Point Health Service Area Command Sergeant Major, effective 13 July 2016, by authority of Army Regulations 600-20, Chapter 2-18, Paragraph Bravo 2. Command Sergeant Major Kyle S. Brunell hereby assumes the duties and responsibilities as the Command Sergeant Major of the West Point Health Service Area. Signed, Brian S. Burlingame, Colonel, Medical Corps, Commanding. We will now conduct the retirement ceremony for Command Sergeant Major Vincent E. Bond. This ceremony is held to honor Command Sergeant Major Bond, who has served our country with honor and distinction for over 31 years. Ladies and gentlemen, the guest speaker for today's retirement ceremony, Colonel Brian S. Burlingame.
Good morning, Brigadier General Toring, Brigadier General Oakland, Command Sergeant Major Brady, Command Sergeant Ripplemeyer, Command Sergeant Major Mullins, and Command Sergeant Major Crawford. Distinguished guests, Keller staff, family and friends of Command Sergeant Major Bond and Command Sergeant Major Brunell. This is a fantastic morning for a change of responsibility and the retirement of a superb Army non-commissioned officer, Command Sergeant Major Vincent E. Bond. Chaplain Van Dress, thank you for the inspired benediction. Sergeant First Class Ewell and Sergeant First Class Loy Song, thank you for the stirring rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner and all of the music that make today's ceremony memorable. As always, you bring a special touch of flair. Thank you. Team, you have sent Command Sergeant Major Bond off and welcomed Command Sergeant Major Brunell in outstanding fashion. You have certainly made us proud, just as you do each and every day. Sergeant First Class Case, splendid performance by the soldiers on the field today. Before I get to my remarks celebrating Command Sergeant Major Bond's and Diana's retirement, I first want to recognize their service to the West Point Health Service Area over the last 2 years and to welcome Command Sergeant Major Kyle Brunell and his family. Command Sergeant Major Bond's service and stewardship of the command have been nothing short of superb. I could not have had a better teammate. We are grateful for your dedicated and demanding leadership. You have left the foxhole better postured for the challenges facing a small hospital in today's MedCom, and the soldiers better prepared to win in a complex world. You have done your job. Deanna, thank you for all you have done in supporting Vince and the families within the command and on West Point. Thank you. Command Sergeant Major Brunell, I welcome you, Stephanie, and Caitlin to West Point and to Keller. I have full confidence that the soldiers and civilians in the command are in good hands. You bring a new perspective and a renewed vitality. Congratulations on your selection as the Command Sergeant Major of West Point Health Service Area. You will find this a challenging and rewarding assignment. It is my privilege to represent the soldiers and civilians that have served with Command Sergeant Major Bond over the last 31 years as we retire this proud son of Georgia and honor his accomplished and dedicated service to the United States Army. That service has been supported, enabled, and at times tolerated by his loving wife, Deanna, and their family. Let's offer our applause to this superb team. Command Sgt. Major Bond heard the call in the summer of 1985. He traded in his track shoes and work boots for a set of black leather combat boots, the attributes of discipline, perseverance, and mental toughness, which served him well as an accomplished middle distance runner, have marked his distinguished and rich military career. A career born under the blistering sun and stained by the Georgia red clay of Fort Benning. He cut his teeth in the Ranger Battalion, serving as a senior medic, displaying grit and tenacity, jumping into Panama during Operation Urgent Fury, and ultimately rose to coach and teach young soldiers as a squad leader in the RTB. He honed his leadership skills at Camp Zama, Japan, serving as first sergeant with some pretty heavy hitters and developing some of his most revered Bondisms. He has been tested as an NCO in the brutal forge of combat in the most difficult and challenging conditions on a humanitarian mission in post-earthquake Haiti. His professionalism, skill, and drive has saved lives in both of these theaters and earned him the respect of his subordinates, peers, and leaders. The reward for hard work is more hard work. And Command Sgt. Major Bond has finished his career with 2 tough jobs in shepherding Moncrief and Keller Army Community Hospitals, each with very unique missions, and each through a changing healthcare landscape with new financial realities and outstanding pressures. Along the way, he has forged lasting friendships with outstanding Army leaders, such as Brigadier General Mike O'Gwin, Brigadier General Ron Stevens, Colonel Retired Rich and Christy Ellison, Colonel Retired Mark Higdon, and Greg Fahn and family. As Rich shared with me this morning, Command Sergeant Major Bond always knew the mission and his soldiers, and he put them first. The mere recounting of his assignments and accomplishments do not provide adequate measure of Command Sergeant Major Vince Bond. The growth, impact, and accomplishments of the soldiers and government civilians he has mentored, developed, and inspired are a more adequate measure. The persistence of his commitment to his family and the quality of his 5 sons as men, husbands, and fathers give a strong sense of his character. The example he has set through his steadfast adherence to his principles and the depth of his willingness to sacrifice his personal comfort, his gain, and on occasion his life, in service to the nation, the mission, his family, and his friends, I believe bring into focus and give the final measure of this man, Command Sergeant Major Vincent Bond. I came into the Army the summer before Vince, and I have not known a greater advocate for soldiers. He believes that every soldier has the innate seed of greatness and the character to nourish its growth. He believes in his subordinates and understands that he fails them if he doesn't do everything in his power to help them reach their potential. He refuses to let someone accept a performance that is not their best. He will challenge, coach, mentor, and when needed, counsel. He will pat you on the back or kick you in the pants if that's what he thinks it will take to make you reach your potential. Ladies and gentlemen, inspiring is what we must do as leaders, and inspiration takes many forms. Being unwilling to explore what will make a soldier and a team better because it may be viewed negatively or held to a level of scrutiny that is uncomfortable is not courageous leadership. It is giving up on your shoulders, it is giving up on your team, and it is failing to live up to the creed. Vince Bond has never given up on a subordinate, a peer, or even a senior leader. He is a consummate NCO and a testament to the NCO creed. During retirements, I have on occasion seen the carousel of old and new photographs, chronicling the progression of a career and family along the arc of decades, sometimes in the revelry of peace and sometimes marked by the sobriety of war, but always showing the faces of our nation's most valued treasure, a soldier, his family, and his most cherished comrades. Some snapshots capture the most important celebrations that dot our lives. Some attest to the camaraderie of a shared unit or family event. Some reflect the resolve of soldiers in uniform training for the inevitability of conflict. Some display the pride of a promotion we never thought possible. Some memorialize those once so important, but no longer with us. Some reveal the laughter and humor that sustained family and friends. Some freeze time in a way that our memories can't. All mark our journey, on occasion alone, but most often with those most precious to us. Vince and Deanna, these photographs are so very real to you. Whether hard copy, digital, or perhaps maybe just deep in your memory. They are there wistfully calling you back to your fondest days, former deeds, long-standing friendships, and proudly held accomplishments. The most recent ones, the ones today, will reset your watch as time now runs forward towards new days, new deeds, new friendships, and certainly, without question, new accomplishments. I have been fortunate to have your counsel as my Command Sergeant Major. You provided the perfect pitch sounding board for my ideas, supported the command with astute insights, and generally cared for every member of the team. You have been a true partner in leading West Point Health Service Area. You will now be able to focus your support and more broadly share your finest attributes with Deanna, your 5 sons, grandson, and granddaughter. On behalf of every soldier and civilian that you have served with, Vince, thank you for your service, your leadership, your remarkable professionalism, and your friendship. The very best wishes of you in the future. From time to time, take a minute to visit those snapshots deep in your memory. Remember your career fondly and with pride. You have earned it. Job well done.
At this time, Colonel Burlingame and Command Sergeant Major Brunell will recognize our retiring soldier. Attention to orders. The Legion of Merit is awarded to Command Sergeant Major Vincent E. Bond for exceptionally meritorious service while serving in various positions of great responsibility during the period 1 January 2007 to 31 December 2016, culminating as the Command Sergeant Major, Keller Army Community Hospital, West Point, New York. Command Sergeant Major Bond's outstanding performance of duty in each of his leadership positions was key to the success of these organizations, their leaders, and soldiers. His leadership acumen was vital to improving quality patient care services, transitions to the hospital to a highly reliable organization, and sustaining a medically ready force. Command Sergeant Major Bond's exemplary performance of duty is in keeping with the highest traditions of military service, reflects great credit upon him, the Army Medical Command, the Army Medical Department, and the United States Army. By order of the Secretary of the Army, signed this first day of June 2016. Signed, Barbara R. Holcomb, Major General, United States Army, Deputy Commanding General. Please be seated. A certificate of appreciation from the President of the United States is presented to those retiring today, which reads, I extend to you my personal thanks and the sincere appreciation of a grateful nation for your contribution of honorable service to our country. You have helped maintain the security of the nation during a critical time in its history with a devotion to duty and a spirit of sacrifice in keeping with the proud traditions of military service. Your commitment and dedication have been an inspiration for those who will follow in your footsteps and for all Americans who join me today in saluting you for an extremely job well done. My best wishes to you for happiness and success in the future. A certificate of retirement from the Chief of Staff, United States Army, is also being presented to this retiree today and to the spouse of today's retiree. The Chief of Staff, United States Army, sends the following certificate. On this occasion of the retirement of you and your spouse from active status with the United States Army, you have earned our grateful appreciation for your unselfish, faithful, and devoted service. Your unfailing support and understanding help to make your spouses and soldiers lasting contributions to the nation. Command Sergeant Major Vincent E. Bond, having served honorably for 31 years and 2 months of active service, will be placed on the retirement list effective 1 February 2017. Command Sergeant Major Vincent E. Bond entered active duty in Fort Jackson, South Carolina on 25 November 1985. Now that he is retiring from the service, Command Sergeant Major Vincent E. Bond plans to disappear. Command Sergeant Major and Miss Bond will be receiving the History of the Regiment Award. The United States Army Medical Department, the AMED, was formed on 27 July 1775 when the Continental Congress authorized a medical service for an army of 20,000 men. It created the hospital department and named Dr. Benjamin Church of Boston as Director of General and Chief Physician. Numerous times over the course of the Army's history, reorganization has occurred to keep the current tactics. As a result, however, some Army units lost their identity, their history, their lineage. This loss did not go unnoticed, and the United States Army regimental system was created. The United States Army Medical Department Regiment was activated on 28 July 1986 during ceremonies at Fort Sam Houston in San Antonio, Texas. The mission of the AMED Regiment is to enhance combat effectiveness by developing loyalty and commitment, fostering an extended sense of belonging, improved unit spirit, and institutionalizing the warfighting ethos. To that end, the AMED Regiment provides a number of services to perpetuate our history, heritage, traditions, and sense of belonging. To help perpetuate the history and traditions of the regiment and enhance unit morale and spirit, Army Regulation 600-82, the United States Army Regimental System, provides for the recognition of individuals who have contributed to the regiment. To ensure all deserving individuals are recognized, this program is divided into 3 separate categories: Distinguished Member of the Regiment, or DMOR, Honorary Member of the Regiment, HMOR, and Friend of the Regiment. The DMOR is reserved as a retirement recognition for AMED soldiers, active, reserve, National Guard, or retirees, and civilians with a long AMED career who have significantly contributed to the proud heritage of the Army and the AMED Regiment. The HMOR is designed to recognize individuals who are not affiliated with the AMED Regiment, but have made significant contributions to the AMED. The program was designed by the Surgeon General as a means to recognize individuals, groups, or businesses which have made contributions to or performed a service for the AMED Regiment. Today, we recognize Command Sergeant Major Bond and Deanna Bond as the newest members of the AMED Regiment. Miss Deanna Bond is granted and assigned distinction as honorary member of the United States Army Medical Department Regiment. This appointment recognizes the significant contributions of regimental continuity, tradition, and esprit de corps by order of the Surgeon General, Naja West, Lieutenant General, United States Army, the Surgeon General, and Commanding General, USA MEDDAC. Command Sergeant Major Vincent E. Bond is granted and assigned distinction of Distinguished Member of the United States Army Medical Department Regiment. This appointment recognizes the significant contributions to the regimental continuity, tradition, and esprit de corps by order of the Surgeon General, Naja West, Lieutenant General, United States Army, the Surgeon General, and Commanding General, MEDDAC. Command Sergeant Major Bond will also be receiving the 30-year retirement coin from the Office of the Command Sergeant Major, United States Army Medical Command. Dear Command Sergeant Major Vincent E. Bond, on behalf of the United States Army Medical Command, I want to congratulate you on your retirement from the United States Army after 31 years of dedicated service to our nation. It is with both pride and sadness that we note the culmination of a career during which you have served proudly as a role model, mentor, trainer, and leader of soldiers. Your dedication and selfless service have impacted the lives and careers of many. As you transition, don't forget those with whom you have served and know that the soldiers, officers, and civilians of the United States Army are proud of your accomplishments and wish you a long life, good health, and continued success. Serving to Hill, honored to serve, sincerely, Gerald C. Ecker, Command Sergeant Major, United States Army, Command Sergeant Major, USA MEDDAC. Colonel Burlingame will now present Command Sergeant Major Vincent E. Bond with his flag on behalf of the soldiers, NCOs, and officers of Keller Army Community Hospital. On an additional note, Command Sergeant Major Bond's flag was flown over Moncrief Army Community Hospital, Keller U.S. Army Community Hospital, and the United States Military Academy. On behalf of the soldiers and staff of Keller Army Community Hospital, this gift will be presented for a symbol of your honorable service to our nation as a symbol of our appreciation. Every retiree receives a special retirement pin as a memento of their active duty service. At this time, Colonel Burlingame will place this pin on Command Sergeant Major Vincent E. Bond to symbolize the transition from active duty to retired status. Attention to orders. Orders number 041-0004 from Department of the Army, Washington, D.C. to Command Sergeant Major Vincent E. Bond, USA MEDDAC, Whiskey 2 Hotel 8 Alpha Alpha, West Point, New York, dated 10 February 2016. Effective 31 January 2017, you are retired from active duty, released from assignment and duty, and on the date below being 1 February 2017, placed on the retired list with the rank of Command Sergeant Major. The people of the United States express their thanks and gratitude for your faithful service. Your contributions to the defense of the United States of America are greatly appreciated. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, Command Sergeant Major Vincent E. Bond.
Golly, how do you top all that? I know some are thinking, wow, that's January. Yeah, I got a whole lot of leave saved up. So, good morning, everybody. Brigadier General Toring, Brigadier General O'Gwen. Sir, thank you very much for being here. Colonel Retired and Christy Ellison, love you guys. Sergeant Major Brady, Sergeant Major Ripplemeyer, Colonel Sones, Sergeant Major Williams, Colonel Mifflin, Sergeant Barrero, Sergeant Major Crawford. Major Frankel, where you at? I saw you. There you go. Sergeant First Class Loy Song, were you great? Thank you. That was beautiful. Senior leaders, special guests. First of all, it's very hot, so the water you see on my face is sweat. I would like to thank the West Point Band. You guys, as usual, are great. Thank you. For their generous support, and usually, as their usual sound, they're perfect. I'm sorry, y'all. I would like to also thank the Black Knight Parachute Team. We were supposed to have a special event today, but the aircraft was otherwise trumped by a big guy, so maybe we'll get to do this tomorrow. But if we do, I want to go ahead and publicly thank them for the gift they're going to give me and the motivation it provides for our soldiers when they get to see it. Most of all, I'd like to thank the soldiers that are standing on the field today. On my actual retirement date, I will have served 58.49% of my life in the Army. That's Georgia math, and I did use my toes to figure that one out. 58.49% serving my fellow soldiers in the 13 units that I've had the privilege to be a part of. I can trace the line of my people and their military life back to the Civil War, and having a family tree of military relatives is pretty daggum cool. My father served 22 years in the Navy. My sister served 4 years in the Army. I have seen unbelievable changes in our military over the past 31 years. I have worked with soldiers that have taught me what it means to be a leader, and I have served with the worst of soldiers that have shown me what not to be as a leader, and I have grown from both. I have deployed and served next to heroes and soldiers that gave their life in defense of others, and soldiers that came home injured and still give to their country and to their nation. I've had the privilege of being a part of a team that provided humanitarian assistance to a country in great need of our help. I've had the privilege of training and mentoring young soldiers, ensuring opportunities for them to grow as upcoming leaders. The Army has given me every opportunity that I could ever ask for. What more could a person like me ask for out of the Army? I sat back the other day and was reminiscing about the years of service, and I was amazed that I could remember things from many years ago in very vivid detail. From my first day to basic training to my first day of basic, I can tell you everything that occurred prior to, in the middle of, and after we jumped out of that aircraft in Panama in specific detail. And you'd think that you can't remember these things when you become an old guy, but you can. I've worked with folks and in places like Japan. I served with special people and developed relationships with soldiers, even climbed Mount Fuji with a very special person, family friend in my life, Miss Monica Ogwin. And Mount Fuji is not a joke, folks. When you're climbing, you're struggling, and the elderly ladies are passing you up on the mountain, it kind of hurts your ego. It's been such an honor and privilege to serve in the Army that protects our great nation, and don't think for one moment that it's by luck that I stand here now. I am standing here now because of all the soldiers that supported me as their leader and because of their hard work and dedication. I am here now because of the leaders that placed their trust and belief in me to do my job in leading their soldiers. I also stand here today because of my hard work, dedication, sacrifice, and blood, sweat, and tears that I've given to our nation for over 31 years. When you put everything first, ahead of yourself and your family, it eventually takes its toll on a person. If you remain strong and resilient, it will pay off in the end. That's a lesson to you guys, strong and resilient. Let me share something important to you about Keller. In the last 2 years, the soldiers of Keller Army Community Hospital has produced 4 NCOs that earned their NCO Leadership Award, 7 NCOs that made the Commandant's List, 1 soldier that was the Distinguished Honor Graduate from his NCOES course. We've had the Region of the Year, or Region NCO of the Year. We have the Region Career Counselor of the Year for 2 years running. We started the first excellence in competition in marksmanship for pistol and rifle, with 4 of our soldiers earning the Bronze Marksmanship Badge in either the pistol or rifle, and 1 of our soldiers earning the badge in both categories. That's pretty good. 23 soldiers have earned the Air Assault Badge, 18 soldiers to earn the German Proficiency Badge, and this old man just got his, or did the test, the last part yesterday. So if this old guy can do it, you young guys can do it, and some of you old guys out here can do it too. We had 5 to earn the coveted Expert Field Medical Badge. When we could not get our soldiers on the land nav course, our soldiers stepped up and created a course to get our soldiers trained for the competitions and boards that they would attend. Keller Army Community Hospital has won the Dean's Excellence in Teaching Award for our laboratory's effort and excellence in teaching our Phase 2 students from the Defense Health Agency, Department of Defense, and the Medical Education and Training Campus, Fort Sam, Houston. And by the way, our lab Phase 2 students has one of the highest pass rates for the American Society of Clinical Pathology Board of Certifications exams with a 100% pass rate. That's a very difficult exam, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, a Command Sergeant Major cannot ask for more or be more proud of those soldiers and their sacrifice. And I want to personally thank all of you. Let's give them a round of applause, please. All of you have performed well above my expectations. Thank you. I admire you for your dedication and hard work. You guys are my hero. Please join. Well, we already did that. I'm sorry. This is what happens when you get up here and get nervous. You lose your page. I would like to take a minute to thank a few people. Gail, where you at, Gail? You're great. You've been a perfect in your support for me and our commander. Your guidance and expertise definitely made my job easier, and from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Specialist Pierre, Specialist Hartman. No one really knows the amount of work and the amount of hours that you sacrifice as the command driver and enlisted aide to the Command Sergeant Major, unless they've been in that position. And while some thought of it as an opportunity for you to sham, not many could do the job that you did. Thank you for your dedication and service to the commander and I. First Sergeant Collins, who's already left us, and Sergeant First Class Case, thank you for dedication to our soldiers and the company. To our SHARP team, thank you for protecting our soldiers, GS employees, and patients from people that would otherwise harm them. I want to personally thank the housekeeping staff for all that you do in support of our patients. I have a tremendous amount of respect for all of you, as well as our DFAC personnel. So thank you for your support to our patients and to our staff. And the same, Fran, Pete, Rodney, Rich, Kim, Andy, and crew, and others, thank you. You guys are great. To our GS employees, thank you for doing the jobs that support the patients and staff. Colonel Lawson, Colonel Douglas, Colonel Stocco, hope I didn't work you too hard, but what a team, right? Colonel Burlingame, thank you for your trust. Thank you for allowing me to do my job in support of your vision. Our mission as the Commander and Command Sergeant Major of the West Point Health Service Area has been challenging and rewarding. I believe that with your guidance and your vision, we have done a great job in securing the hospital's future. So, sir, thank you for your dedication to our hospital, the West Point Health Service Area, the United States Military Academy, and to our soldiers and all of the soldiers that you have served. Thank you for believing in me. We all know these speeches forget to mention someone, and I apologize if I don't mention you. Just know that those of you that know me understand what I feel. I must take a minute to recognize the sacrifice of my family. Unfortunately, my parents' health will not allow them to be here today. Deanna and the boys have dealt with years of absence, deployments, field training exercises, TDYs, late hours at work, me clamming up because I don't want to talk about it when I'm off, and the stress that goes along with it. Often soldiers sacrifice for their family, but at the same time, we sacrifice our family, and for that I'm truly sorry. To sacrifice so much is taken away from the family can be a bit difficult thing to overcome. Deanna, you've had the hardest job of all, taking care of the family and household, and thank you from the bottom of my heart. To our soldiers, all of you know what I believe in as a leader and as a soldier. You know my philosophy, lead or go home. Our military is changing rapidly. I expect you to understand these changes, and while you have your personal beliefs and some of your religious beliefs, I ask that you remember that you are a soldier, you are part of our team, and only a few that are willing to be a part of this team. And in a time where patriotism might seem to be lowering, our military needs its sons and daughters to protect all, keep things in perspective, and support your profession. General Shinseki once said, if you don't like change, you will like being irrelevant even less. Embrace the change in your military, maintain your professionalism, and grow. You'll be a better person for it. You all know what I believe in, that I believe in the process of teaching man to fish. I'd like to teach a lesson, and I expect you to do some research and develop yourself along the way. So I'm going to leave you with one last lesson. Doing the easy right over the hard wrong. It takes more effort, more energy, more time to do or say the hard wrong over the easy right. It takes courage to do what is right because so many want you to look the other way. But remember this, courage is doing what you may be afraid to do. Sometimes there can be no courage unless you're scared. But it's your fundamental responsibility as a soldier to live our Army values. For our junior enlisted soldiers, listen closely. Do not allow your superiors to stand on your back so they can peer above the clouds, because eventually your back will break. Rather, expect your superiors to allow you to stand on their shoulders so you can see the horizon and follow your path. Remember, even a private can be a leader, so earn the right to lead, earn the privilege to get promoted, and earn your title every day. General Mathis once said that the most important 6 inches on the battlefield is between your ears. Develop and use that 6 inches. I don't know who stated this quote that I'm getting ready to use, but it stuck with me ever since I've heard it. Being a leader isn't only about ability, it's about responsibility. It's not just responsibility for making good decisions, it's about the responsibility for the bad decisions. You're not a leader until you face both and learn from your mistakes. This extremely important quote is extremely important because you have a lot to learn and a lifetime to learn it in. Be the soldier, the leader, and the mentor that your fellow soldiers can learn from and are willing to emulate. Trust must be earned in the utmost of integrity. As I transition to my civilian life and I lead the life that I deeply love, the life of being a soldier, I will miss it. I am sure that I will reminisce about it often, and I promise that I will start every story off with, there I was, knee-deep. I will take all the lessons that I've learned in a lifetime of being a soldier and apply them prudently to my new life. And I apologize for taking so long today, but this is a special occasion. Sergeant Major Brunell, welcome to you, your wife Stephanie, and your daughter Caitlin. I wish you and Colonel Stones all the luck, and I'm confident that Colonel Burlingame and I are leaving you a successful organization. It has been the most honorable part of my life to have served in the United States Army, to have deployed in defense of our great nation, to have worked side by side by men and women who make up the soldiers and the GS employees of our Army. I can't think of no greater career to be a part of. May God bless our fallen comrades and continue to bless the Army, Air Force, Navy, Marines, and Coast Guardmen and our great nation. I love the Army. I love you all. Dignity and respect, CAC 7 out.
Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, the West Point Health Service Area Command Sergeant Major Kyle Brunell.
Color guard, before I get started, go ahead and unseat those colors. Brigadier General O'Gwyn, Brigadier General Toring, Command Sergeant Major Brady, Command Sergeant Major Ripplemeyer, distinguished guests, soldiers, and civilians of Keller Army Community Hospital. Good morning, and thank you all for coming. I am sincerely honored and deeply humbled to stand here before you today as your Command Sergeant Major at one of the U.S. Army's finest medical facilities at its premier leadership institution. As your Command Sergeant Major, I promise to serve each and every one of you to the best of my abilities every day. It's an honor to serve you, and one that I do not take lightly, for I sincerely believe that in order to effectively lead your soldiers, you must serve them as well. Our beneficiaries deserve the best health care possible, and I know that all of us will serve them as best we can. New York is my home. I was born in Niskayuna, raised in Ballston Spa and Schuylerville, and started my collegiate pursuits in Troy. So it's good to be back home after 25 years. One advantage of being back home is that my family is able to share this day with me. First and foremost is my amazing wife, Stephanie, who continues to support me and is the glue that holds our family together. I couldn't do what I do without your love and support. My little second grader, Caitlin, is also here, and she even let Papa pick out her dress today. You look beautiful, baby girl. Thank you for sharing this day with me. In addition to my wonderful wife and daughter, I'm accompanied today by my mother, Lynn, and my stepfather, Greg, from the beautiful town of Moultonborough, New Hampshire, who traveled to wherever I've been stationed around the world in support of my career. From basic training to the promotion to Sergeant Major, my mother has been there every step of the way. Thanks, Mom. The reason I'm standing here today is in large part due to your love and sacrifice. Additionally, they are accompanied by some wonderful family friends and VIPs in their own right, Jerry Hopkins and Sally Carver, whose view of Lake Winnipesaukee is unmatched. Thank you for inviting me over so many times. My great Aunt Carol, emphasis on great, and my Uncle Glenn drove down from the Tri-Cities, and so did my Aunt Lynn and Uncle Roger. Thank you all for support. It means the world to me. And driving up from North Carolina to spend the day with me are Milton Vi Windsor, Greg's mother and father. Thank you both as well for taking the time to be with me today. But today, I also, finally, after 25 years, have the opportunity to recognize a man whose work ethic I can only hope to emulate, whose dedication to his profession is unsurpassed, and who always ensured that my brothers and my needs were taken care of, my father, Clem Brunell. I've never known the man to take a personal day or a sick day in his life, yet today, here he is. My dad's a Vietnam vet, And as many of you know, Vietnam vets didn't receive the fanfare or appreciation today's soldiers receive when we redeploy. So, Dad, thank you for being here today, and most importantly, I know I speak for all in attendance today. Thank you for your service to our nation. Command Sergeant Major Bond, thank you for your dedication over the last 2 years. Patient satisfaction and morale are extremely high, and it's due in large part to your and Colonel Burlingame's leadership. I will do my best to build upon these numerous accomplishments you have achieved here. You've made this transition seamless, and I really appreciate that. Good luck in your well-deserved retirement. To the soldiers and civilians of Keller, I'm not going to get rid of the smile off my face. I am truly, truly happy and blessed to be here. I'm excited to work here, excited, looking forward to serve you over the next 2 years. You are all the reason why this organization has such an outstanding reputation. I'm already impressed by your dedication. Thank you for all what you do. I'm honored to be part of the team. Dignity and respect, one team.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the recitation of the NCO Creed, the playing of Old Soldiers Never Die, Old Lang Syne, the Army Song, and the retiring of the colors. We ask that all NCOs present join in the Creed. No one is more professional than I. I am a non-commissioned officer, a leader of soldiers. As a non-commissioned officer, I realize that I am a member of a time-honored corps, which is known as the backbone of the Army. I am proud of the Corps of non-commissioned officers and will at all times conduct myself so as to bring credit upon the Corps, the military service, and my country, regardless of the situation in which I find myself. I will not use my grade or position to attain pleasure, profit, or personal safety. Competence is my watchword. My two basic responsibilities will always be uppermost in my mind: accomplishment of my mission and the welfare of my soldiers. I will strive to remain technically and tactically proficient. I am aware of my role as a non-commissioned officer. I will fulfill my responsibilities inherent in that role. All soldiers are entitled to outstanding leadership. I will provide that leadership. I will always place their needs above my own. I will communicate consistently with my soldiers and never leave them uninformed. I will be fair and impartial when recommending both rewards and punishments. Officers of my unit will have maximum time to accomplish their duties. They will not have to accomplish mine. I will earn their respect and confidence, as well as that of my soldiers. I will be loyal to those with whom I serve, seniors, peers, and subordinates alike. I will exercise initiative by taking the appropriate action in the absence of orders. I will not compromise my integrity, nor my moral courage. I will not forget, nor will I allow my comrades to forget, that we are professionals, non-commissioned officers, leaders.
Please join me in singing the Army song. March along,
Sing your song. We're the army of the free. Count the brave, count the true, who have fought to victory. We're the army and proud of our name. We're the army and proudly proclaim. First to fight for the right and to build the nation's might. And the army goes rolling along. Proud of all we have done, fighting till the battle's won. And the army goes rolling along. Then it's hi, hi, hey, the army's on its way. Count off the cadence loud and strong. For wherever we go, you will always know that the army goes rolling along.
Attachment. Post. March. Mission, retire the colors.
Yeah, the colors.
Color sergeant, post. Retire the colors. Sergeant Major, this concludes today's ceremony.
Take charge of the unit.
Dismiss!
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our ceremony. On behalf of the Keller team and Command Sergeant Major Bunn, I would like to thank you for attending. We ask that you come to bid Command Sergeant Major and his family best wishes. Command Sergeant Major Brunell will be at the Battle Monument directly behind you at the top of the hill to greet the Keller and West Point family. Thank you.